Tropical Storm Maring is now heading towards extreme northern Luzon. Several areas in regions 1, 2, and the CAR are now under signal number 2. Voter registration resumes today. We'll give you the latest on the ground live. A Filipina nurse dies after a mugger knocked her to the ground at Times Square. Tributes continue to pour in for CHR Chairman Chito Gascon following his sudden death on Saturday. He was 57. And actor Jake Cuenca was arrested after a car chase with the police in Mandaluyong. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know as you jumpstart your day. I'm Charles Lejano. Kicking off today's newscast with tropical cyclone wind signals still up in parts of Luzon due to Tropical Storm Maring. Signal number 2 is up over Batanes, Cagayan, the Babuyan Islands, and the northern portion of Isabela. The same goes for Apayao, Kalinga, the Mountain Province, Abra, Ilocos Norte, and Ilocos Sur. Meanwhile, the complete list of areas under signal number 1 are now flashed on your screens. Tropical Storm Maring continues to inch closer towards the extreme part of northern Luzon. And to tell us more about this, we now have Joey Figuracion live from the Pag-asa Weather Forecasting Center. Joey, good morning. What is the latest on Tropical Storm Maring?
Charles, good morning. Tropical Storm Maring continues to move closer towards the Luzon Strait. It was last spotted 4 a.m. today at a distance of 350 kilometers east of Apari, Cagayan. Still in the tropical storm category with maximum sustained winds of 85 kilometers per hour near the center and gustiness of up to 105 kilometers per hour. Generally, Maring will track west-northwestward at a speed of 12 to 25 kilometers per hour, Charles.
Right, Joey, how long do you guys figure we'll continue to experience rains due to TS Maring?
Today until tomorrow, the part of mainland Luzon, particularly the northern and central Luzon, will experience rains and stormy and rather gusty to stormy weather, Charles.
Right, is Maring still expected to intensify any further today, and are there any gale warnings that are currently up?
Yes, Charles, while traversing Luzon Strait, it is expected to reach up to tropical or severe tropical storm that is in category 3 of our tropical cyclone. Before reaching Hainan, it may reach typhoon category.
Right, Joey, when is TS Maring expected to exit the Philippine area of responsibility?
With its current behavior, it is expected to exit our area of responsibility tomorrow morning until afternoon, Charles.
Right, so that being said, what is the weather going to be like for the rest of Luzon, the entire Visayas, and Mindanao? And are you guys tracking any other weather disturbances?
So far, Charles, no expected tropical cyclone coming in the next latter this week. But for the next 3 days, extreme northern Luzon up to central Luzon will experience rains, and some parts of western side of Luzon and rather the western Visayas, central Visayas, particularly some areas in Mindanao, Zamboanga Peninsula, northern Mindanao, Bangsamoro, and occidental Mindoro, Palawan will experience rains due to southwest monsoon.
Thanks for those updates. That was Pag-asa Weather Forecaster Joey Figuracion. Vice President Leni Robredo is still not closing her doors to a possible unification of the opposition. Robredo says Isembayan's endorsements strengthened her resolve to run for president. And she said she was hoping to simply support the opposition candidate and instead run at the local level. But upon seeing unity talks fail, Robredo said she started seriously considering running as president. As such, Robredo's camp says they will also start shifting their focus on Robredo's campaign.
Yun talaga yung daan na tinatahak natin. Kaya nag-exert tayo ng maraming effort na magkaroon sana ng unification para tutulong na lang ako sa mga national candidates and uuwi ako sa amin para doon naman magbuhos ng serbisyo.
Apa.
Pero hindi naging maganda, hindi naging yung pinagdadasal natin na magiging katapusan ng lahat ng usapan hindi nangyari. Mahirap mag-unite pag merong hindi alignment sa mga paniniwala, merong hindi pareho sa daan na gustong tahakin.
Meanwhile, President Duterte seems to have given Bato de la Rosa his seal of approval. In an interview with SMNI News Channel, Duterte said it would be good to have a military man as president. And as for Sara Duterte's possible substitution, the president isn't too hopeful.
It would be good to have a military man as president of this republic. Inday is definitely out, as he has said earlier, and for the oft-repeated statements in so many, I think, interviews. She had always maintained that she's not running. She was just true to her words.
Heads up to those who have yet to register for next year's elections. There's still time. Today, the voter registration reopens to accept more applications. To give us the latest on the ground, we now have Justine Punsalang. She's reporting to us live from Manila. Justine, good morning. Have people started flocking registration sites as of this morning?
Charles, the situation site at SM San Lazaro is a stark contrast to what we were used to from last month. Voter registration resumes today after the COMELEC took an 8-day break to give way for the filing of candidacies or certificates of candidacies. Previously, long lines of people snaked around registration sites as early as the night prior to the start of registration. In fact, many people who came in early morning were disappointed when they learned that all the limited slots were already taken. But this morning, only a handful of people lined up outside SM San Lazaro by 5 a.m. It seemed that some of them were still the same people who have repeatedly lined up at voter registration sites in the past but failed to make the cut. One even said today is her third time to attempt registration. Those in line admitted that they are thankful for the extension because it gave them a chance to be registered voters despite their previous busy schedules. This extension will last until the end of the month, following the COMELEC resolution to extend the registration from the previous deadline of September 30. Besides SM San Lazaro, other registration sites in the city of Manila are SM Manila for Districts 1 and 2, Tutuban Center for District 2, SM Manila for Districts 1 and 4, Tutuban Center for District 2, Robinson's Ermita for District 5, and Robinson's Otis for District 6. Charles, during our visit to other registration sites here in see any line outside the COMELEC satellite offices, particularly in Tutuban Center. We spoke to a security guard on duty, and he said that they were informed by the management that the registration will start on the 15th and not today. Charles?
Thanks for those updates and do stay safe. That was Justine Punsalang reporting live from Santa Cruz in Manila. A 58-year-old Filipina nurse was killed near Times Square in New York City. Maria Ambrosio is the latest victim of deranged individuals on the loose in New York City. The medical frontliner was walking near Times Square when she was struck down by the suspect, who was reportedly being chased after grabbing a mobile phone from someone else. The Philippine Consulate General in New York extended its condolences to the kin of Ambrosio. But the office also pointed out that they have been calling on authorities to take necessary steps to protect the public, including heightened police visibility. The consulate noted that since January, they have already seen several Filipinos violently assaulted by mentally ill individuals in New York. So for the agency, the question is, how many more Maria Ambrosios do we have to mourn before the streets of New York would be made safe again? Tributes continue to pour in for Commission on Human Rights Chairperson Chito Gascon following his unexpected death on Saturday due to COVID-19. Camille Samonte with the details.
Friends and colleagues continue to mourn the passing of Commission on Human Rights Chairperson Chito Gascon. Gascon had succumbed to COVID-19 complications at the age of 57. On Sunday, they paid their respect in a memorial service in the Liwasang Jokno at the CHR office. CHR spokesperson Attorney Jacqueline De Guia admitted Chito's death was very sudden and unexpected. She also shared that before Gascon's passing, he once again showed his selflessness.
He would always think of others before himself. He didn't like to be really hospitalized. He thought he was faring well also. And he also wanted to go home and recover, and thinking that, the bed was for somebody else who was needing it more than him.
De Guia added that Chito will be remembered as a person who stood by his principles despite all criticisms thrown at him.
Kita mo talaga yung puso niya doon sa gusto niyang mangyari sa trabaho. And he forged on. He could have easily given up. He could have been affected. He could have taken the easy way out. But he rallied on. He knew that the CHR was needed most at that time until now. And he held on the fort up until his last day.
Chito's longtime friend and former colleague Arnel Casanova described him as a very simple and compassionate person.
Napaka-low profile na tao, napaka-down to earth, pero kung magtitingnan mo ang kanyang karanasan at ang kanyang achievements, you'll be amazed. At saka yung higit doon siguro, yung pagmamahal niya sa kapwa niya. No? And that's also why I think he's very happy serving in the CHR, the Commission of the Human Rights, despite all the difficulties and challenges that he had to face.
Former Supreme Court spokesperson Attorney Ted De meanwhile hailed Gascon for upholding human rights in the country.
He was the right CHR chair at the right time. No? Nung panahon na kinailangan ng isang taong tumindig at para sa karapatang tao, no, at hindi aatras, no, kahit na anumang batikos, kahit na anong panlalait, pagmumura, no, kahit anong gawin sa kanya at sa komisyon, no, si Chito yung tumindig.
Gascon had been a human rights defender since the Marcos regime. He was also a vocal critic of the Duterte's administration's bloody drug war. He was appointed in 2015 as CHR chair by the late former President Benigno Aquino III. Prior to that, he was a member of the Human Rights Victims Claim Board, which was tasked to receive, evaluate, and investigate reparation claims made by victims of human rights violations during martial law. The human rights lawyer and political activist was also the youngest member of the Constitutional Commission that drafted the 1987 Constitution as well as the 8th Congress. Following his passing, Commissioner Karen Gomez Dumpit is set to serve as the officer in charge. For News 5, Camille Samonte, We Are One News.
Over the weekend, actor Jake Cuenca was arrested after his SUV allegedly bumped a police vehicle. The police mobile was reportedly parked along Silangan Street in Barangay Barangka Ibaba when the incident happened. Operatives of Mandaluyong police tried to flag the actor down, but he allegedly refused to stop his vehicle, and this led to a chase with the policemen gunning down the tires of Cuenca's car. Unfortunately, one of their bullets hit a Grab delivery driver right in the stomach. But the driver survived the hit and is now recovering in the hospital. Cuenca's arresting officers alleged that the actor was drunk when the incident took place.
Nung nagpe-prepare na silang pabalik dito sa station, dumaan itong isang Wrangler na sasakyan, di black. Hindi po nila kilala kung sino yung nakasakay. And masikip yung kalsada. The team leader was flagging down this truck kasi para daan-daan nakaalis muna and then para maganda yung daan. Unfortunately, siguro, baka akala ina-plug down or something na kasi because they are on civilian clothes kasi operatiba sila eh. Yun, binangga yung sasakyan ng isa nating personal.
Here are the stories to watch out for later today. The United Kingdom will be removing the Philippines from its travel red list starting today. The lower house will continue its probe into the Octa Research Group. And distributors and consumers are bracing for another big-time oil price hike. And that's how the day is shaping up to be. Join us later at 10 a.m. as we monitor the day's biggest stories from sunrise to sundown. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We're One News.